Much like John Eastman, former Trump lawyer, former DOJ official, and of course indicted co-conspirator Jeffrey Clark also had a disciplinary hearing this week about whether or not he's going to keep his law license. Except, unlike Eastman, Jeffrey Clark absolutely threw Donald Trump under the bus during his hearing this week in a way that absolutely screws Donald Trump over. Here's what happened. Mr. Clark was asked the question from a committee woman for the DC bar. He was asked, "Mr. Clark, you asserted a number of times attorney-client privilege. For whom were you the attorney?" And Jeffrey Clark responded, "For President Trump, the head of the executive branch, the sole head, the unitary head of Article 2, the executive branch of the United States government." He shouldn't have said that. In fact, we know that he shouldn't have said that because Jeffrey Clark's lawyer then immediately panicked and stood up and said, "I would respectfully request my client to invoke questions about the basis for attorney-client privilege because those answers would be intimidating to them as well. So respectfully, I would ask him to invoke." So basically, Jeffrey Clark's response to, "Yeah, I was working for Donald Trump," was so bad and so damaging, by the way, to both Jeffrey Clark and Donald Trump in those charges they're facing in Georgia, that his lawyer stood up and was like, "Dude, he should have pleaded the Fifth Amendment here. I really wish he would have. Can we still do it? Like, can we just forget what happened? And I'm going to tell him to just start pleading the Fifth. Don't say another word." Do you know how damaging your own testimony has to be for your lawyer to jump up in a panic and tell the whole court that no, we're going to go with the Fifth Amendment from now on. Like, he's not going to talk anymore. And like I explained with the whole situation with John Eastman, what this does is it destroys Donald Trump's legal defense, right? His defense is an advice of counsel defense, which means my lawyers told me to do something. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know how it works, but they do. So I trusted them and I did the thing, but it was because of their bad advice. And Clark is sitting here saying like, "Oh, no, I was working for Trump. Trump tells me what to do." Oh, you just destroyed your defense, by the way, and Donald Trump's defense. But here's the thing. Clark stands accused of attempting to engage in dishonest conduct on behalf of Trump in the aftermath of the 2020 presidential election. That included Clark's suggestion to send a letter to Georgia officials underlining a DOJ investigation into the voting process in the state and suggesting that they should void President Joe Biden's win. Clark also held multiple meetings with Trump that violated proper DOJ procedure, actions that lead investigator described Tuesday as essentially a coup attempt at the Department of Justice. So Clark is his own worst enemy at this point. The best thing you could have said was nothing. You could have pleaded the Fifth, but instead you opened your mouth, implicated Donald Trump, which of course is also you implicating yourself as having worked with him on this issue. And oh wow, prosecutors are going to have a field day with that once these trials start. Well, folks, we have crossed that 1 million subscriber milestone, but rest assured, we are just getting started here at Ring of Fire. So if you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel and make sure to like, share, and comment on the videos.